going on, guys? Welcome to your Sunday night Class vs. Crass here on Nintendo Enthusiast. One of, I don't know if it's the best podcast, but it's definitely one we're proud of. I'm your host, Jason Lapine. Joining us tonight, as usual, is Sean Long, the Crassy man himself.
Hello.
And tonight we have a special guest. We've got OJ from Player Essence joining us. How's it going?
What's up, everyone? Francis here, OJ, whatever you feel like calling me.
I'll be switching names throughout the whole podcast.
That's okay.
Awesome. And tonight, as I pulled out the blazer, I'm also pulling out the wine. Back to the initial classy style.
Very classy, dude. Very classy.
Thank you. I try to be. Well,
He's an ass. Don't encourage him.
Please, you got your ego boost, Sean, on Friday with your little Nintendo rant. I'm back. I can bitch about something.
Hey.
This man defending Federation Force. Can you fire him? Tell your boss to fire this dude. This man needs to be fired, bro.
Do we have a hater? Are you a Federation Force hater?
Nah, I'm not. Whatever.
Uh-oh.
Nah, that's good, though. We'll have a good talk.
Sean, you got to set this one straight.
I think I can.
All right. Tonight should be a fun time. So, I love it. Devbird saying, Jason, you've been crass for so long. I have been falling off, so that's why I'm back with Blazer and Wine. Gotta get back to my title. So if it's the first time joining us here on Class vs. Crass, we do have a format. It's a 1-hour podcast usually. With guests, it oftentimes goes to 90 minutes. We'll see how much fun we're having. So we usually start off with what have you been playing, and that's where Sean, myself, and tonight's guest, OJ, will be sharing what we've been playing in the Nintendo world over the last week. Then we go over the main Nintendo headlines, and this week there is a lot, especially since we had a meaty Nintendo Direct last week, unlike the one from the previous week, which was like, hey, Pokemon Moon and Sun. Then we go into the Nintendo fan highlight. That's where every week either myself or Sean pick a Nintendo fan and we highlight them in front of the community because him or her. Let's not generalize. They. Thank you.
Yeah, don't use name. That's a big thing now. They're trying to get rid of he and she and.
Yeah. No gender bias.
Okay.
So we're gonna cover that.
We're going to cover gender bias.
No, we're not going to. No, we're not. No, this show is all about gaming, not politics. Or
feminist frequency, talking about these men.
That's a good point. We don't get too many women on this podcast. I think we've just had Shelfie so far.
Yeah, but Shelfie is like Wonder Woman.
That's true. It's definitely not for lack of trying. If we could use more feminine presence on this podcast. Where was I? Oh yeah, the Nintendo Fan Showcase. And then at the end, we wrap it all up with a lightning round. That's where you guys in the chat can ask us any questions. I highly encourage asking more questions for OJ because it is his first night here and he's not here every week. Or you can suggest topics you want to talk about or share your thoughts. It's pretty much an open discussion. So, with all that aside, OJ, can you tell us a bit about, for those who don't know you, who are you? Why are you relevant in the Nintendo world? What do you do for us?
I'm barely relevant at all, but
I disagree.
For the small relevance that I do have, I run the website playeressence.com. It's like a blog site. It's like Go Nintendo or like Nintendo Everything or like VG 24/7. It's multi-platform, but I'm only a one-man team. So I mainly do what I like, and that's mainly Nintendo games. But I do Microsoft and Sony. I have all the systems. So I run a website, playeressence.com. That got started around 2011, but I didn't really get going with that site till like 2012, 2013. I really started focusing on it. And then I also run my YouTube channel, which is just Player Essence. Same thing, just Player Essence, capital P, capital E. And where I do all sorts of original content on Nintendo, discussions, videos, podcasts. I've had Sean on. I've had guys like McIntyre Productions. He's a pretty big YouTuber. Various different types of people, Terminator Juice, other guys that I run with my own network. So yeah, I kind of just do a lot of that stuff, podcasting and gameplay videos, previews, live streams, all that stuff.
You brought Sean alone on one of your podcasts?
No, it was me and that other guy he was talking about, actually.
Andy from McIntyre Productions.
Yeah. Oh, it was you two. Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Actually, when Indie Corner came out, Francis, you were actually one of the first sites to pick up Indie Corner. So, you and I, well, I go way back with Player Essence. Definitely one of the sites I first discovered when I debuted it here online. So I really appreciate you covering our stuff, and the
No
us connecting
problem.
like this has been long overdue.
Yeah, it's been a while. Yeah, I always post you guys' stuff. Like I love Sean's content. I'll post his stuff. I'll post Nintendo Enthusiast stuff when I can. So it's
Nice,
always fun working. It's always fun working with you guys. It's cool.
awesome. Did you post his last Federation Force rant?
I'm going to. I'm gonna wait a little bit. I wanted to let the fame, like the flames, just kind of calm down a little bit. Then I'll just kind of slip it in there.
Awesome.
I'm going to post it though. I'm definitely going to post it.
All right. Thanks for that little introduction. So, Sean, let's get started with you. What have you been playing in the last week?
I'm still messing around with Twilight Princess, just kind of dicking around, trying to get all the heart pieces and whatnot. And fishing, I love to fish in that game. I've been playing. Well, I can't pronounce it, even though my review is done for it. Popo Chlorois, Story of Season, whatever. I finished my review for that today. You'll see, it's pretty good. It's not bad. And then I was playing Chasing Dead on the Wii U, which is the worst game of 2016. One of the worst games I've played ever.
That was a big surprise.
It was to me too, because if you watch, but it's kind of funny because I actually went back and watched the trailer, and it's first off, it's none of it is actually Wii U footage. It's all Steam footage, but you can actually see a snippet where the frame rate is just so crippled, and that's what the whole game is like. It is so crippled. It is, oh my god. It's virtually unplayable. Like it'll make you sick, and like I was so blown away at just how there was little to no testing for the game, because playing it once you'll see these problems. If you play it for 10 minutes you'll see these problems, and I don't know. I guess they were just rushing. No disrespect to the company or whatever, but y'all need to test your shit before you drop it for $30. Like, come on now.
See, this was a Steam game, right? Before?
Yes, it was a Steam game. It's coming out on, I don't know if it's out on PS4 yet. I believe it's coming out. And, one of the things that they said in the email they gave me was, we're going to be listening to fan feedback. We're going to be implementing multiplayer, all sorts of other stuff. But it's like, okay, you can do all that, but you need to fix the core game, because the game, I think, has some potential. The premise is decent. I did like the little, video sequences of people that felt like like a B sci-fi movie, and maybe that's kind of what they were going for. But it's just so broken that you can never appreciate anything in the game.
So, do you think if that frame rate issue was solved, like the score would just shoot up?
No, because then I would actually, I can't say that, because that would mean I'd actually be able to play the game. So is the game good? I don't know, because it's so broken right now that if they fix the frame rate, it would just be in a playable state. So then I could actually experience the game. Like, it's that bad. It's mind blowing.
Damn, that's always unfortunate when a developer, you've got one chance for an initial impression with a review, obviously. So you want to make sure your game comes out right. Even if you fix something after, we can't go back and change our scores, or at least
Right.
most sites choose not to.
Yeah, I don't believe you. I mean, you can make an update. Like, I know we did that with Splatoon after the fact. We did an article on it. But to me, the when the game comes out on day one, that's the game. And if you decide to add things to it, you decide to fix things as you go along, great. But as I always review things as a day one consumer, because that's what I have been for a while if I really wanted a game. So
Right. I feel that's fair. Francis, have you had the chance to try this game?
Nah,
Chasing Dead? No.
no.
Well, have you been playing anything over the past week, or are you too busy running a site and
No,
everything?
I've been playing plenty. You got to play games. I've been playing Pokkén Tournament. Really fun, really good game. Been playing Twilight Princess, but recently been playing Pokkén Tournament and Twilight Princess and Pokkén Tournament. So yeah, good stuff.
Same as me. I've been dabbling in Pokkén Tournament as well as Twilight Princess. What do you guys think? So we all know what Sean thinks about Twilight Princess. He gave it a 9 out of 10. He reviewed everything. What do you think about it, Francis? Did it age
Uh,
well? Did you like the original?
Absolutely love it. I mean, I thought I liked the original when I first played it on the Wii, but I realized that like that was like at the same time like I just got an HD TV and like back in 2006, and the game looked horrible on like a HD TV. Like it just looked absolutely horrible, and I guess it kind of affected my playtime with the game. And I also got kind of tired. Like I thought the waggle controls were okay or the motion controls were okay, but then like I remember getting tired of it. But like with this version, it's just so good because it's like it's great on big TVs because it's in 1080p resolution.
Hmm.
And it has the regular standard controller. And like the thing about it, what I like about this one is that you don't need the gamepad as much. I think Wind Waker, you need the gamepad a little bit more than in this game, just because of the open sea. And this one, you don't need the gamepad as much. So using the Wii U Pro controller is fine by me the whole time. Whereas in Wind Waker, I kind of felt like I kind of need to use the gamepad. This one, I don't as much. So I'm really just enjoying using my Wii U Pro controller because I feel that that's like the most comfortable controller ever. So I'm really enjoying Twilight Princess. Yeah, I mean, I haven't reviewed it yet. I'm going to review it, but I definitely give it definitely above an 8 easily.
Right. Sorry, I'm just a little bit distracted. Seems that we're getting a lot of buffer. That's what the viewers are saying. And
Okay.
actually, that's what I'm seeing. Now, I'm actually connected. I'm not on anything wireless, so it's coming in smooth on my end.
I'm
It has to be. You're the host though, so it would
Right,
be
right.
something on your
Well,
end.
I can lower my bandwidth if you want.
no, I don't think it's here. I don't think it's
It's
because
it's
I'm up.
720. Okay.
Because regardless of what we're communicating at, I'm uploading at the same rate,
Okay.
and it would just down res you guys, I guess. Actually, I don't see any change in your resolutions. So,
Yeah, it's buffering for me too.
all right, guys, let's see if we can improve this for you guys. See if I can lower the quality of anything here. I'm not streaming anything, I don't think. Nope. No streaming. Quality is low. Do you guys know how to reduce the quality on the new? Oh, here it is. Bandwidth.
Hmm.
Um, all right. Incoming videos at 720. Outgoing videos 720. So let's reduce this to. Oh shit. I don't want to go 360.
There's only two options. It only says
I know.
720 or 360. They don't even got 480p for you there.
Like I would have went 480 for incoming, but 360 is steep.
It's like pick HD or just complete crap.
Right, yeah. Well, you know what? People don't need to necessarily see us in crisp HD. A podcast is more important for voices anyway. So let's take the hit. Oh, this is gonna hurt. I don't like this.
Yeah, people are talking about it's buffering, it's
All
skipping
right.
all over the place. One guy even says restart the podcast.
Well, I don't think that would change anything. All right, so I've got the incoming lower. Let's see if that helps anything.
Okay.
Let's see. It doesn't help. All right, so let me know if this helps, guys. I've just reduced the. Well, actually, I can even see the buffering on my own screen. So I don't, which is weird.
Yeah, it's buffering. You know, I did hear that YouTube was having problems with uploads. I don't know if this is indicative of that.
YouTube's always having problems with something. It's such a big site.
Yeah, and I find at the beginning of the year they're always tweaking with more features. Okay, I'm gonna take the hit and just say like, let's output this in 360 as well. If this doesn't fix it, nothing will.
Just blame Canada.
It's true. It's true.
We can't afford. I don't know. It's hard to dig all those wires in the snow.
You
Let's
guys
see.
put too much tax money on freaking healthcare, so everybody in the world got healthcare, or everybody in your area got healthcare. You guys don't have enough for internet, man.
Exactly.
I think it's okay now. It's not. It hasn't buffered in a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Saying it's saying some people are saying it's working now.
Okay. I
All right.
just got a warning here from my stream thing that we were dropping frames. So hopefully it's
Oh.
improving. We've lowered the bandwidth. We're streaming a lot lower rates.
Yeah,
Let's-
we got people saying it's working okay now.
All right, on with the show.
All right.
Okay, there's one last thing I can do here.
Just
Whatever. Okay, sorry about that. That's really
So
annoying.
you're about to complain about Twilight Princess because I've already seen your fucking shit on Facebook.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm
I
glad
love
you.
Twilight Princess. I don't know if they caught that part because I guess it was streaming, but I really like Twilight Princess. I really like Pokkén Tournament. I'm absolutely loving Twilight Princess though. This is for me. This is the best way to play the game. I mean, Wind Waker is my favorite Zelda game of all time. But yo, Twilight Princess it's like coming up like with this version.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
at the time, I preferred Twilight Princess over Wind Waker back in the original days. Now, Wind Waker has come back and made such a huge impact on me when I was playing Twilight Princess, and I haven't gone that far. And I'm not going to knock on its story or its graphics. I love the graphics. I absolutely hated the Twilight in the original version. Like, everything was blurry and dark, and it was annoying to look at because it just felt like everything was out of focus. So the new HD facelift to it, brilliant. Love it. My problem is actually in the core game, which I'm realizing now after playing Wind Waker so recently and a few other Zelda games. I feel that the mechanics of the game just start off very poorly. Like, what's a theme of Zelda? Exploration, right? You guys agree with that?
Yeah, but they save the exploration for deeper into the game. That's what makes it good. Like I like that it makes you work for the exploration. It makes you, you have to stay in a confined sort of area until you do your first 3 dungeons, and then boom,
Yeah.
you're going out and about.
I agree. So the game does open up, and I'm not saying it's overall the game's bad. I'm saying the beginning is very slow. And someone in the chat I think said earlier it's one of the slowest starting Zelda games. What is the first thing you do when you get control of Link in this game? Bam! You gotta learn to ride your horse and get all these goats or whatever in a barn. So the game right away is presenting here is a game mechanic that is new to the Zelda universe, sort of. This is what you're going to learn first when you come into the game. I think that was a poor design choice right there. When you compare it to Wind Waker, where it's like, here is an island, go have fun, go do whatever you want, go explore it, go talk to people. There's really not much to do. You bond on Outset Island. I don't know how many hours you guys spend on Outset Island, but I often hear people spending 2 to 4 hours on the island just exploring and having fun. With Twilight Princess, it's here's a force mechanic, and then you learn how to use Epona, and then the horse gets taken away from you. It's like, well, why did I need to learn that right now?
Because it builds up the story. I think it's more of a story mechanic than anything, because think about when I mean, obviously you haven't gotten that far yet,
but I know the game, yeah.
Right, but think about when Epona comes back, it's like all epic and shit, and like you're like, all right, let's go, and then boom, you're on the horse. I don't know. It is a little slow, but I like the pacing of it.
Yeah, as a story,
you know.
Yeah, I'll agree with you. As a story mechanic, it might work. Like the game is much more story driven than. Can I say that? Much more story driven than the other Zelda games.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of. I mean, it's like one that has multiple main antagonists and stuff like that, and it's more akin to Majora's Mask than anything else as far as mature, darker tones and stuff like that. But yeah, it's my third favorite Zelda, so maybe I'm a little biased, but it's majestic. And isn't it? Here's a question I have for you two though. Do you think it looks substantially better on your television than the trailers did on YouTube?
Yes, 100%. Yes, it looks substantially better on your TV than it does in the actual trailers, which is weird, but it's just but you just kind of notice little things when it's on your TV. You know what I'm saying? Like, whereas in the trailers, it's kind of like moving around a lot. They're not sitting there and kind of just panning throughout the whole thing. But I've noticed like it looks a lot better. It's like some of the textures and details inside the walls and all that. And like I said, the blurriness. The main problem with Twilight Princess is just how blurry it is. Like it's an SD game, and if you're playing it on a TV, if you're playing it on a big TV, it's going to look just absolutely awful.
Yeah,
it's going. I mean, it looked awful on a small HD TV with component cables. It still looked bad. Like I'm talking about like I bought a 17-inch Dell back in the day, 2006. I bought a 17-inch Dell for $600.
I bought one for $400.
Yeah, $600 for a 17-inch Dell. And I thought, I was like, oh heck yeah, I'm the man with this. And and it looked so bad. It looked so bad. But like at this point, I have a 47-inch Samsung 1080p LED TV, and it looks great. The geometry is still a bit, it has the same geometry as the older games, but it's smooth. There's no jaggies. It's sharp and crisp, and there's added texture and detail. And that's all I wanted, really. I mean, it's like, to be honest, it's like the best looking Zelda game we've got, right? I mean, as far as graphically, there's not.
I think so.
Skyward Sword looked pretty good.
Huh?
Skyward Sword looked pretty good.
But it was a different art style, though.
You could cut something on those graphics, though, man. They were kind of, they were jaggy, man.
The polygons of Twilight Princess though really, really dates it.
I agree. It's definitely, it still keeps the geometry, but just the look. I mean, the smoothness. And
the colors and the bloom lighting are what I thought was the most impressive. Because I remember looking at the trailers and being like, okay, that looks a little better. And then when I got it and I started playing it, I was like, shit, this looks really good. And I remember telling Jason, I was like, dude, this looks so much better than the trailers. And he was like, really? I was like, yeah, dude, it's substantially like better. It's kind of weird how it happened. I don't know. I guess because you could tell with Wind Waker, like, from Wind Waker to Wind Waker HD, you could see the difference. Whereas this, you can see the difference on YouTube. Whereas this, you couldn't really tell. And then once you actually play it, you're like, shit, this looks pretty damn good. But yeah, I mean, there is some low res stuff, and I think I addressed that in the review. But overall, like, it looks damn good.
Yeah, I didn't. Maybe it's because you were hyping it up so much for me, Sean. I didn't see that big of a difference, and I've got a fairly big TV. Like, it's. I'm not saying it's bad though. I really like. Oh, and by the way, just because I was like nitpicking the start of Twilight Princess, I still think it's a great game. Like, I enjoyed playing it before.
Do you have an original copy of Twilight Princess?
Yes.
Play it for 5 minutes.
Oh, absolutely, man. I'm not saying it's not like. I'm saying what I saw on YouTube. I was part of the crowd that was actually impressed with the YouTube videos. So, it wasn't that.
Then it's different because I wasn't.
Right.
I wasn't necessarily. I mean, I thought it looked okay, but I wasn't really.
Same with me. I didn't really see, and even like when Digital Foundry did their comparison between the three versions, you still can't really. I mean, you can see it. Like Twilight Princess on the GameCube and on the Wii look a lot better when you're looking at it on your computer screen. They look fine. People say there's nothing wrong with it, but then you play it on an HD TV in your house, and it's like, what is this crap?
I can't see anything.
It's blurry as hell. You can't see anything. So I mean, that's the big, for me. That's like the big thing. It's like finally being able to play in 1080p resolution on my big TV. So
what I can't wait to play on this big TV is freaking Star Fox. That's gonna look so good.
No.
What?
Maybe.
Yeah. No. You guys.
Maybe.
You don't care.
I'm excited. I think after what they showed at the Nintendo Direct, I've changed my tune a little bit. I mean, it's still not what everything that I would want, but sometimes you can't get always like everything you want in a game. Sometimes you gotta take the good and the bad.
Yeah. So what are your thoughts on Starhawk Zero in a nutshell?
Looks a lot. The action's great. Not huge fan of the motion controls. I mean, I've played them. I think that they're okay, but I'm not a huge fan of them.
So you tried it you've tried Star Fox Zero, right? The demo?
I played it for so long at E3. Like I played it over and like I was just because there's the media line at E3.
Yeah.
And it was like super short. So I just kept on playing it over and over and over and over again. And
the freaking American media line, us Canadians got shafted this time.
Yeah, I mean, well, because they had a bunch of setup and I'd even like walk up to like to the ladies that were there and be like, hey, let me play this real quick. And they would stop the regular line just so I can play it.
Oh, like, damn.
He's gonna play right now. So I'd be like, oh, I'm media. And they would just let me just like cut right there and play it. Even though they didn't know who I was. I didn't work for a big website. So it was funny. But I played it so many times and I just thought the motion controls I don't think that they're necessary. I just think that they're kind of like Miyamoto's really trying to force this onto this game. Mm-hmm. I think they work better in Splatoon because Splatoon, your character isn't always moving. You control the movement at all times. Star Fox, it's a rail shooter, so you're always moving. So that's another axis of control. I mean, you have to control the gamepad and shooting. You have to your your ship is always moving. Plus, you have to control it left and right. So I just felt like it's a little bit of an overload. But I think for people who really like want to get into that, I think it's going to be awesome for them. I think they're going to get really into using the gamepad. But for me, I guess I'm getting kind of old. I'm more of a traditionalist. But I mean, I think it's cool. I think the game is cool. I wish there was online multiplayer too. I really wish there was online multiplayer. But
For sure.
you know, whatever.
That's still my main issue with the game is, I mean, obviously there's a want for it, there's a desire for it, and it's still not there, which is kind of puzzling to me because it's not like it's really rocket science. Like you just do, just do teams, 2-on-2, do deathmatch, you don't have to make it overly complicated online multiplayer, but
We might
just and even if they added after the fact, we have to go back to this. Day one, it should be there,
Right.
especially with the fucking delay.
Well, yeah.
Especially with the delay.
But from the direct, you could see that they explained what the delay was a bit focused on, what they spent more time on.
Yeah, but
the controls and graphics. I think that's what they were really.
Yeah.
I think the gamepad, and that's the thing. Like that's the thing with Miyamoto's games. A lot of time, Miyamoto, he does not do online multiplayer.
That's
I don't know. I just don't know why he doesn't like online multiplayer. But even when his games are so much better with online multiplayer, he still does not do online. Like Pikmin. Like Pikmin would be so cool playing online multiplayer. Didn't want to do online for that. I mean, I don't understand where Miyamoto's coming from because he will suggest online multiplayer. Like he suggested it for Luigi's Mansion, which did that game even need it? Did Luigi's Mansion need online multiplayer? But it has it, and it's not bad. But it's just like like Sean said, it can just be kind of something they just kind of put in there. Nothing crazy. That's the same thing like with Luigi's Mansion. He suggested that because if he didn't suggest that, I don't think it would have had it. So I don't know why he suggests online multiplayer, but he doesn't do it himself for his recent games. So
I have a feeling that the lack of online multiplayer in Star Fox, at least initially, might just be because I don't know if you, Francis, think the NX is just around the corner, but if it is, like all hands are on deck for the NX, and they probably want to limit the development time and cost on anything Wii U. So it's very possible that they might be just cutting some of the Wii U games to get to get a decent package out. But then if online multiplayer, you gotta that might be a whole different development cycle.
Then again, you also have to remember Star Fox Guard will also be in the premium $60 edition, which looks pretty badass, honestly. And I want to know what the fuck is up with Rob the Robot on the box art. Has anyone talked about that?
What?
Look at the box art for Star Fox Guard, and Rob the Robot is in it, and I don't know why, and it bothers me. He's like right there. He's like in the background. There's numerical screens, and if you look at the 4, which is in the middle and then in the upper corner, Rob the Robot's there.
I think it's just a cameo. Honestly, it's been 2 years since I played Project Guard, but I remember I think it was robots, right, Francis?
I see him.
It's little robots that enter your base, isn't it?
But I mean, you can make a robot and not make it look like Rob. I mean, that's clearly Rob.
It definitely looks like Rob. I'm looking at the box art right now. It looks like Rob, but I mean, they put Rob in there. Oh well.
Why not? Like Rob has been useless for 30 years. They put him in Smash so people start recognizing him. Then they have this little side game where it's a nice little rant before I got cut off.
It's all good. It happens.
Not on Classes for Crass, it doesn't.
It's usually me that drops.
It does.
All right, we're back.
My internet's awesome, so I never drop.
Mine's awesome too. I think actually the problem tonight was my computer, not the internet.
Oh, your computer sucks. Then you need to get a new computer.
I could use some cleaning up. I've been neglecting it, but we are back on. Everyone. Hey, how's it going? Thanks for joining us. Sorry about that. I don't know what happened. The whole computer froze up, so I had to do a reboot. But we are back. I was talking about Project Guard, right?
Yes.
Before I found out I was talking to myself. So what was I saying? Project Guard was a project where it was a game where they needed to sell. So you were saying, what is Rob all about? I was like, well, they needed to attach franchises to it. So first thing they did was...
Jason, did you adjust your bandwidth again? To the 360.
Why is it laggy again?
Buffering, yes.
I did not. How about now? Now it's good.
360p.
We're down to the 360p. Seriously, dude, we do this every week, and I don't have to do this all. Like tonight is just a bad night. I don't know what's going on.
That's what
Still got 45 viewers, baby. Woo!
That's what Twilight Princess on the Wii was. It was 360p. They lied. It wasn't 40. They put 480p on the box. They're liars. That was 360p.
See that we're just theming it against. I'm even gonna close this thing. We need all the help we can get tonight. All right. Oh my God, Project Guard. They needed to attach licenses to it. So hey, let's put Star Fox. Let's put Slippy. Not quite strong enough. Who's another character we haven't used in a while? Rob. He's in Smash. People know who he is. Bam. Put him in the game. That explains why
I'm
he's
cool with it. It's just an interesting addition, I guess.
It is. I'm saying. It's a nice observation. And Project Guard, I'm all for it. Francis, did you play it?
I did.
Did you like it?
E3, just kind of like, whatever. I think it was better than that game where you hold the gamepad up like this.
Oh, and, Project Robot.
I was like, stop.
That was so bad.
Yeah, I think that game is done. I mean, they might bring it back for something, but it better. I mean, those controls, like
there was nothing going for it.
Yeah, so compared to that of Miyamoto's little pet projects, this is looking a lot better.
Yeah,
this is looking a lot better. Yeah.
Project Guard I think is one of those games you're not really going to appreciate until you play it. It's hard to keep track of 12 cameras.
Yeah.
But it's fun. It's hard but fun. So
the fact that you're getting it in with Star Fox, that's ingenious. I mean, I think that's gonna get more people to over the top just to get the game. It's like, okay, we get a whole nother game in there. You can download the levels online. You can upload your own levels. You can create them. So they're putting a little bit of effort into it. Put it in the bundle with Star Fox. That's cool. I like that.
Yeah, and I like how they're including a lot of levels. You're getting 100 levels off the bat, and online. It actually has online support to custom. You can customize your own enemy layout for people to challenge. Very cool.
That is cool. And as a throw-in for Star Fox, that's cool. I wasn't expecting that. I was not expecting that.
Right. And now, speaking of E3, this is a topic I want to bring up for tonight's podcast. If you've been following Nintendo Enthusiast over the last few days, you've seen we've already done a Nintendo Direct recap on the last Class vs. Crass on Thursday. Sean's been ranting about Metroid Force or Federation Force, whatever. But one thing we haven't been talking about is so Activision and EA have now dropped out of E3 for Disney for having booths in the E3 the hall.
Activision and EA?
Activision, EA, and Disney.
Oh my goodness!
So basically, the whole. Okay, so if you're not familiar with E3, it's basically you've got two halls. In one hall, you've got like Nintendo, Microsoft, Sony, and then you've got a lot of other players around them. And then you walk to another hall, and you've got a lot of the third-party publishers there, like EA, Activision, which usually are like front center, taking up all the space. Then you've got like Capcom and everyone else sprinkled throughout. So the fact that these two big players are gone really weakens, I feel, the trade show. And we saw kind of Nintendo take the lead with this a few years back by, foregoing the conference, but at least they still kept a presence on the trade show floor. Now you've got people leaving the whole trade show as a whole. So last year we saw Bethesda first do their own press conference, but they were still on the show floor. Now they're moving away from the show floor. So my question and topic for tonight is, are we seeing the death of traditional E3? Is E3 evolving into something new, something better, or is it dying off and turning into something worse? So
I think it's just a product of its environment. A lot of these companies are cutting costs at alarming rates. Look at the whole situation where people lost their jobs over Skylanders and Guitar Hero not selling up to snuff. So why are you going to go to this event and spend literally millions of dollars when you can do something cheaper? And does E3 really still have the same impact anymore? I don't necessarily think it does. I mean, I don't know. I don't think it's worth it.
I feel it still serves as a center point. So you're getting more and more companies announcing things a week before E3, during the week of E3, and a little bit after. So it still is kind of that center point for all of the big gaming news stuff, and it's a very exciting time for gamers. But Francis, what do you think?
It's just, I guess, because if you've ever been to E3, some of the displays are ridiculous. You need production teams. You need to pay your employees. Most of the time, it's overtime. You know, you have to fly them out there because a lot of these companies, I mean, there's companies that are based in Los Angeles. A lot of them are, but some of them in San Francisco. So either you fly them out or you have to pay for all of them, the travel and expenses. I mean, it's all week. So you have to pay for the hotels, like Los Angeles hotels.
Yeah.
Expensive. Like, very expensive. I mean, I live very close to Los Angeles. For me, going to E3 is cheap. It's a rental car and it's gas, and that's it. I'm there and I'm back. It's like $60. I'm good.
Damn, that is awesome. It's expensive for me.
So for me, it's super cheap, and you know, I'm good. If they want to spend their money, that's cool. But I mean, I understand. But but for lots of people, it's really expensive. I mean, Jason, for you, it's expensive flying all the way over there. For the companies, it's expensive to do it. So I mean, I can see them downscaling dramatically. I think they need to basically maybe they can make it less days. That's another thing how they can do to cut costs. And they can kind of make it not so bombastic. Like there's a lot of like huge displays to try to catch people's attention, different stuff. Cut down on your production team a little bit, make it a little bit more streamlined, get the fans a little bit more involved as far as the people. Maybe getting demos to them, being able to download demos and being able to follow along like digital presentations and things like that, just to help. But I still think, like you said, it is good to have it as a centerpiece of the gaming industry as far as just getting people excited. So I don't want to see it go completely away, but I just want to see it basically streamlined a little bit more. I love what Nintendo does with Nintendo Directs. I mean, they have it. They say, hey, during the E3 week, we have this Direct. It's no Skyward Sword malfunctions on the set. So, okay, guys, trust me, it works.
or Wii Music.
Yeah. Oh my. That's when man. Oh god, don't even remind me about the Wii.
Have you ever been to an E3 where Nintendo had a press conference?
I've never been to one where Nintendo had a press conference. I was trying to get into E3 2012, but I couldn't. My website was not big enough, and my YouTube wasn't for me to get into that. So my first one was even in 2013. Mine wasn't. It was 2014, 2015 where I qualified. So yeah, I haven't been to one with a press conference.
Great. So we share the same first E3, 2014.
Yes, 2014. I was stoked. That was a great. Wasn't that just the most awesome E3 to start off with?
That was the best.
It was very good from all the companies, but Nintendo killed it. Oh my gosh,
yes.
Nintendo killed it at that E3.
Yeah, that was the year Smash was the big highlight. They had the whole Smash Invitational. There was so much energy in the room, and they had so many Wii U launch surprises at that E3. Just like
and
bam.
Zelda.
Oh yeah, that Zelda was announced.
And Zelda too.
Shit, yeah, Zelda was announced that year.
Yeah.
Zelda, Star Fox was leaked or whatever. There was so much going on.
And check this out. I also met Dakota for the first time at that E3.
Oh yeah, Dakota.
Yeah. I met Dakota there. I know he's worked with you guys a little bit, so that was cool too.
Haven't seen him in a while. Yeah, Dakota used to write. Dakota used to be a writer for Nintendo Enthusiast. He's big in the Smash League. He was actually one of the members of the what is it? Was it
Invitational?
He was one of he was one of the competitors. He was the tall guy with the big.
I interviewed him with his afro and everything.
Yeah.
Now he's got the long Jesus hair.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah, I interviewed him. That was my first time meeting him, and I saw him. I was like, hey, let me interview you. He was totally cool. So that was a great E3.
He's a good guy. So that's one thing that if we do see E3, those are experiences that won't be happening if E3 is changing. I agree with you. We are in a whole new world where developers, publishers, they can get their games demos out to more people, and you can do it all through the internet. You can stream your a Nintendo Direct. You can get right to your fans. You can send demos. You can set up shop in a bunch of Best Buys for people to play them if they don't want to download them. There's just so many ways that you can take that money instead of making this big booth, which is media exclusive, and actually putting it to your fans.
I kind of think of it I don't know how well you know wrestling terms, but to me, E3 is like a pay-per-view event, and it's a big spectacle and all this stuff, but is there really a lot of meat on the potatoes? Sometimes yes, sometimes no. But then you have something like a house show, which is, a non-televised show, which you can go to for a fraction of the price. And you get, if you're there for the wrestling, you get so much better quality wrestling at the house show event. And, it's just a smaller, more intimate thing. And I think that's kind of what E3 needs to shift away from is the glitz and the glamour. You know, why is it always in LA? Why can't they bring it to the East Coast? Why can't they have it in the Midwest? People will still travel for it. Like, it's like they set themselves up to be the glitz and the glamour, but the problem is the glitz and the glamour are starting to die off because of technology. So what used to be, you know, this huge spectacle is now, I mean, are they really getting the big, like 2015 was pretty good from the other companies, but still it felt a bit lackluster because everything you saw was either coming out this year or has now been delayed till next year or the year after that. So it's like, well, you know, who cares about this stuff? You could have just released a trailer and a press release and gotten the same amount of coverage. Like, I don't know. I just think the novelty and necessity for the big 3-day window is wearing off, and they need to start trying other things.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, you might be seeing why is it always in LA? That might be the consequence of contracts signed years ago, which locked them in for, you know.
Well, I did hear that. I want to say there's a rumor that in 2017 it'll be in Atlanta. Don't quote me on that, but I remember hearing that.
I hope not.
Because your price just went up.
My price is, I'm going to be sitting at home. I'll be covering it from home.
You know,
I like the fact that it's Los Angeles.
You know what, though? That's not necessarily bad. Like, although Francis and I have just shared like these great stories of being at E3 because you can feel the energy. Like talking to some of the people who just watch E3 at home, who like takes days off from work so that they can sit at E3 and actually digest it all. You're probably getting more news than the people on the show floor, and you're probably seeing a lot more. You're more connected with the social media, and you can talk with more people about what's going on and share that excitement. The only caveat is, you know, the people that are at E3, they get to play some games after they wait an hour in a line to try it, which, you know, is still worth it. And you got the whole swag contest where you're running around trying to get as much swag as you can. But
see, I could just make you buy it and then do podcasts, and because I always stay home and cover it because I'd rather, you know, other team members, you know, the people who do the nitty gritty work that aren't necessarily, you know, on camera all the time, like Jason and I'd rather them go. You know, that's like, you know, that's huge to them. And me personally, you know, I could live without it. I don't like flying anyway, so have fun.
I'm not a big fan of it either. And like this year, I'm probably not going to E3 unless something big changes. It's a big investment. There's not like I'm tired. I don't actually get to enjoy much of it because I don't get to see everything. Like,
I mean, it's work. I mean, it's fun, but it's work.
It is.
I mean, you're not going as just, you know, someone to enjoy things. You're going and you have to, okay, well, I played this game, now I have to do a write-up on it. Okay, I talked to this person, now I got to edit this interview. Like, it's a lot of work.
And
I don't think
it's not just
a ton of work.
It's first you got 3 days to schedule all of your interviews. So you're rushing across this massive hall, running back and forth between them, just to get your interviews. So you're writing down all your notes. Then you've got like the evening, which you have to divide between networking events and writing up the articles and videos, because if you wait a week until after E3, all of your stuff's irrelevant. So it's all pointless. So I don't know. There's good. I'm not complaining. There's a lot of good stuff and bad stuff, but I'm saying. So I guess the whole topic is, should E3 evolve? Absolutely, I think so.
I think so.
They need to make the halls closer. I can't stand walking that distance, man. The distance from Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo all the way to the third parties. It's like, bro, it's like I lost like 5 pounds.
You need a Segway.
And I'm hauling my camera because I don't got anybody else to work with me. I don't have a little Isla.
I do.
Hauling around the camera. I'm hauling everything. My black butt is hauling everything.
Yeah.
So, I got this big backpack full of food, and I'm not buying their food. It's too expensive. So I'm like, I'm tired. Like, and they need to make it closer.
that hall is like the hall of shame. It literally takes, I think, 10 minutes to walk from one hall to the other. And you're right, because I think, Francis, the first year I didn't have a lackey, so I had to haul all of my own equipment too. And the second year I was like, screw this, I'm bringing like a video guy, and he's also like a personal trainer, so he's like walking and has all the equipment. Like, all right, I got my mic, let's go.
Yeah, it was. That's the one thing. If they're going to change it, they need to downsize. Just make it to where it's like, I don't know, but I guess that would be the lines would be long. That's the one thing that I don't like about E3. Is like sometimes the lines are really long and like you have to just like wait and wait. Like for me to play like what was it? What game? 2014 Hyrule Warriors. That took me forever. Oh my gosh, that took me forever to play that game.
Yeah, the lineups are ridiculous.
Well, I mean, if they downsize it, it makes sense. Companies will have to spend less money because there's less space to fill. The E3 organizers will probably make more money because it's not like people are going to stop going just because it got smaller. It's just more compact. Like, I don't know. It seems like basic common sense to me. Like, if you have a big ass house and you can't afford the rent, what do? You downsize.
Yeah.
If costs of an event are going up, what do? You downsize. So.
But they did try that. They did downsize. I think it was 2008, 2009, if I remember right.
Yeah, people hated it. They did downsize like a lot, and people really hated it.
Right. So do you think that was just because at that time it was a bad time to do it, or are we looking at maybe now it makes more sense to downsize, or did they downsize too much?
It makes more sense to downsize now because the internet is a lot more, even back from 2008 to this point, internet is a lot more advanced.
Right.
Like the internet is way more advanced. People have better internet connections and everything. And like the way companies are doing things are completely different at this point. So I think it would make more sense to do it like downsize and do more online stuff at this point. Send less employees, send less of the bombastic, huge displays. Just have some TVs, have your games out there. And like Sony's like the worst offender of all this. Like Sony, they be making these big old huge areas where you can't see anything.
Yeah, they just box themselves in.
These huge areas. I'm like, who builds all this crap for them?
But isn't Sony the one though that rents out a bunch of theaters across North America? So if you want to get like an E3 experience, you can actually go to the movies.
They do a Sony experience like a theater, so to where you can watch their E3 presentation. Yeah. In the theater, but Sony they have that that hidden money comes out of nowhere. People always talk about Sony going out of business. They have that hidden money. It's just like a well that they just pull from. So just kind of do whatever they want. Microsoft and Sony, both of them. Yeah. And when things get rough, you can just fire employees.
That's terrible.
I mean, that's what they do. I mean, let's just be real here. So,
yeah, I mean, I'm all for like I see all gamers as equal. Like, there shouldn't be this 3-tiered system where it's like, oh, only the elite or whatever get to play. Like, it's a new age. It's all digital media. Freaking send demos to everyone. Let everybody try it. Let as many people as you can try it. Screw all these.
Well, Nintendo did do the
Nintendo's
home thing.
Nintendo is definitely one of the didn't they have Bayonetta 2 demo, or was that only closer to the release?
That's Best
Buy. That was closer to the release.
But yeah, they did have a demo, but right. I think you could demo certain games at certain Best Buy
locations.
Yes,
they have the whole Best Buy tour that they do through the whole summer, so they're pretty much bringing E3 to all these cities. Like, that is brilliant. That's what you get, all these events in all the big cities, guys, many people to try your games. They're going to be talking about it. They're going to be hyped. They're going to be shared on social media. It's going to trend.
Well, I mean, the one thing that's the funniest thing about all of this, of course, is how Nintendo was doomed 2 years ago when they pulled out of E3 presentation, a traditional one, and then they went all digital. But now that all these other companies are doing it, it's EA, it's the E3 that's fucked, not the companies. Like,
true.
Well, I mean, because you're going against the trend, so I mean, I can see it. The companies weren't doing that back then, and plus, at that time, that was 2013. Yo, the Wii U was selling so bad. So it was just it was just amplified that. I mean, we're talking, what was it, 190,000 units in 3 months from the beginning of like January to March or something.
That was in the big drought, yeah.
Donkey Kong couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Couldn't pull the weight.
So, I mean, 2013 was just a horrible year for Nintendo. I mean, and when they announced that, it was like, oh, look at this. The Wii U's doing horrible. They don't want to show up to E3. They've got nothing, so. I could see why the media was pushing that and the people were pushing that,
And it makes nice headlines, so
It does. It makes nice headlines. It does.
I just realized there's a topic we forgot to cover. I know we can't talk too much about this. I don't know. Francis, help me out here. Can we talk about Pokkén Tournament at all in a little bit? Impressions? You comfortable sharing?
We can talk about it. The things we just can't talk about the final boss.
Right.
Or anything like that. And we can't, and there's just restrictions on actually what you upload on it.
Right. So without getting too much in a review basis, like first impressions, what do you think of the game?
I think it's amazing. I think it's a lot more in depth than I thought it would be.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a solid fighter. It's not too much. Then again, it's not too little. There's some flaws with it, just as far as the multiplayer scene because of the gamepad stuff. It's just stuff like that, little things.
Right.
But the actual core mechanics of the game are good. They're not bad.
Yeah. Okay. So we've got a very similar first impression. I was blown away by how much depth this game had. Like the fighting mechanics is just
Very unique.
It surprised me. It's very unique. It's its own game, and it's
not Tekken. It's definitely not Tekken.
No. It definitely like the whole system. Like there's the unique system in Pokkén Tournament is you're knocking people out of phases. There's 2 phases. Basically, one where it's like very Dragon Ball-esque. You're flying around the whole area or moving around in 3D, and you got ranged attacks and base attacks, melee attacks. And then if you hit them hard enough, you get into this other phase, which is more of a traditional like Street Fighter game where it's left, right, and then and when you're in that range, you can do more damage, and like that's brilliant. Like it adds a whole level of strategy. Because every Pokemon is different, so you can build different strategies with different players, different characters, and anyway, I'm really excited to see what everyone's going to think of this game because
I've been doing live streams and I've been having a ton of people come out to my live streams for Pokkén Tournament. They're really liking it. The people what people have seen, they're really liking the game. And yeah, like you talked about, like the phases. The field phase is like when you're in 3D and you can just kind of like do different attacks. It's really more of just like poking your opponent with like projectiles and stuff like that, which is cool. And then once you bust them into the duel phase, that's when you're like, okay, well, who's going to get the massive combo first? You know, who's going to? I really like that mechanic. I really do like the mechanic, and it has the same like triangle. You know, grab beats block, attack beats grab, counter beats attack. So it's a good standard weapon triangle, which is good, which is really good. I like that. And yeah, I'm really interested. Like people were worried about the amount of Pokemon, but trust me, you're not going to be good with all these. Even though there's only 15 or 16. What is there, 16? I think there's 15 or 16 Pokemon.
16 are the base. I don't know if there's any that unlock. And that doesn't include the Shadow Mewtwo that unlocks with the Amiibo card.
You're not going to be able to master all these. Like there's too much depth with each one, and they each play so differently. Like playing with Lucario is completely different than playing with Blaziken, even though they're both standard Pokemon. You know, because they each have like their like base as far as like are they speed, power, or standard. Lucario and Blaziken are both standard, but like they're so different. Their combos are way different. Lucario's easier to use in my opinion.
Right. So, like I've never been that big in the fighting scene, but this game I can actually appreciate. I can appreciate as a fighter for what it offers, for its design, for how much depth, and having like, oh my god, there's so many combinations. It's crazy. The move sets, the play styles. It's just
the like support Pokemon that adds a whole new layer of depth too.
Yeah. So I mean, viewers, like I don't want you guys are in for a treat. If you're into fighting games, if you're a Pokemon fan, you're in for a real treat with this one.
You know, one thing I wanted to just say real quick with this is that it also proves that an action RPG Pokemon game can work too. Like if you can make a Pokemon fighting game like this, you can make an action RPG that's something like this too. It could work. They could do it. So that's pretty cool.
They could do a lot of things if they wanted to. Sorry, Sean. I know we're leaving you out here.
I'm watching people get hit by cars on the internet.
Oh, nice. That's terrible. I feel bad because Sean was really looking forward to play this, but he took one for the team, so someone else is reviewing it on the
good guy. What can I say?
He is. So someone was asking me, would I recommend buying a Wii U for Pokkén? Just specifically for Pokkén? It depends on how much of a fighting fan you are. Like, there's not too much there's not much of a campaign mode. There's like a league mode that you go through leagues, but so if you really love fighting games, then for sure this is a great unique fighting game that you cannot get on any other platform. And I don't know
online rankings too, online rankings and leaderboards. So if you really want to get into that competitive scene, Smash Bros doesn't have that, so that's cool.
Oh, true, yeah. It's very I don't know how to say this better than I want to be the very best. Like you know exactly where you stand against the competition. So yeah, if it's up to you if you feel that's worth it. Personally, I wouldn't. But
if you really like fighting games, I would say it's kind of worth it. Yeah. If you like, are you really looking for a different type of fighting game? And if you like Pokemon, then yeah, that I would say it's probably worth it. Like just buy like a cheap Wii U, like the refurbished if you can, and just pick up Pokkén, pick up the Hori Fight Pad, wired, and you'll be good. You'll have a ton of fun, especially if you want to play online. I would say don't get it for like a single player game. Like if you're just trying to play this by yourself, or just like with a friend. Like, I'm not sure if a Wii U like worth it, but if you want to play online and challenge yourself and that's what you want to do, then I would say buy a Wii U for that, because the game has online rankings and you can get really into that. But if it's just a single player type deal with you, then I would say no, don't do it.
Yep, well said. All right, another interesting topic we touched up on the beginning of the podcast was, Sean, you put out a very interesting rant that I'm sure most of our viewers are familiar with on Friday, defending Federation Force, saying that there's a lot of whiners out there and that they should just shut up and listen to your wise advice. And I love that Francis is like, what the hell is this guy smoking? Because Francis is like, no, Federation Force sucks, or at least it looks like it's bad. So I love that we've got some diversity in opinions here. So let's start, Francis. Let me get your opinion on what did you feel Federation Force? What did you think about Federation Force before the Nintendo Direct and after the Nintendo Direct of last week?
It still looks so bad.
So opinion did not change at all.
I mean, it's changed a little since they did show more of the game. It showed me the actual mechanics of like the game more, and I don't like them. I don't like the way, it's not just the way it looks, because a lot of people were slamming me on my channel saying, oh, you can't just judge it based on the art style. Mm-hmm. The art style is horrible. But the mechanics of the game are not good. I don't like how, like, okay, you have a shared pool of like missiles and you have to run and go grab the missiles. Like why are they doing that? Like, you should just be able to level up, get more missiles, get different stuff. It should be more of a level progression based, not there's a pool of stuff and you guys share it and then you have a healer. Like, they should make it more in line with other multiplayer shooters. And that's the thing. I've played multiplayer shooters on PS4 and Xbox One, like co-op. They're not drawing any inspiration from that. They're making this weird thing where you share resources and it's like, oh, well, you have to run and go grab them. So you're competing against your own team for certain resources. I didn't like that mechanic at all. It can still be a good game. Don't get me wrong. Like, some of the mechanics that they've shown, it looks like it can be fun, but I'm just not sure if the Nintendo 3DS is the system for this type of game. Nintendo 3DS is very difficult for online multiplayer. A lot of games don't have voice chat. You still have to deal with friend codes, sending messages. Since they took away swap notes, sending messages, you have to go through Miiverse. That takes a long time. There's probably going to be no friend game invites. There's so many different things that the 3DS just can't do from a multiplayer standpoint. So I'm just not sure if this is the best system for this game. That's the other thing.
I can agree. I can agree with you on that. Is the 3DS the best system for this? Probably not. But taking it for what it is, art style, I can give you. I'm not a little fan of the little chibi things, the chibi style or whatever. But I kind of like the whole resource thing because, like you said, it's so different, but it's different necessarily bad. I mean, I kind of look at this like I looked at Splatoon. Like, Splatoon was batshit crazy, and for all intents and purposes, probably shouldn't have worked, but it did for the most part. And I think that this could do something similar, probably not on the same level, but there is, you don't have to necessarily play with others. You can actually play the game just as a solo person. How that will affect the whole resource stuff, I'm not sure, but I don't know. I just think it's too soon to completely write it off, because really you saw an initial E3 trailer which sucked. I mean, the E3 trailer sucked. I'll give you that much. But what I saw during the Direct, I thought looked a lot better, and they explained things better.
Mm-hmm. And I can agree with that.
Is spring too soon? Maybe, but I mean, their spring also ends
late. They changed it to late spring.
Yeah, so I mean, what? But I mean, even so, I mean, we're in March, so May, the end of May. I don't know. It'll be interesting though. I just think it's too soon to write it off. Like, I used to write off games just based on initial impressions, and then it ended up being good, and I was like, oh. So, and I mean, none of us have actually, aside from people that played the Blast Ball thing, which I think Blast Ball is going to be, I'm actually looking just as much to Blast Ball than I am the Metroid part, because to me, Blast Ball looks like Rocket League with, Metroid style characters. And I think that could be freaking awesome.
Yeah, I played Blast Ball. And I mean, yeah, it could be good. I'm more of on the single player portion of it, or at least the multiplayer. Like to me, it's like when I want to play a multiplayer game, I would like to have some options available. But hey, you know what? You're right about. One thing. You're right. Your rant did open my eyes a little bit to the criticism. I'm kind of I level a lot of criticism on this game, and maybe I'm a little bit premature. So. Yeah, your rant did kind of open my eyes to that. So I am willing to give this game an opportunity if I'm provided a review code by Nintendo. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. I would like a review code, but if they don't, I'll still buy it and see what's up with it. So yeah.
Well, you can always see. I guess I'm gonna wait on reviews. This is not one I would pick up right away, just personally for me.
I think I might take the review for it. I think I'm gonna.
Nobody's going to contest with you, dude. Sean's like, okay, I'm getting this review. Everybody's like, take it.
All right. It is. Sean brought up some good points in the rant, but I mean, Francis, you made just some good points tonight about the multiplayer aspect. That does worry me. Like, 3DS and multiplayer aren't necessarily things that work together that well.
Like look at Monster Hunter. I mean, no voice chat because there's issues with bandwidth on 3DS. They have to cut certain things. They can't do everything. Whereas Wii U, voice chat, no problem with Monster Hunter 3. No problem.
Right.
But with Monster Hunter on the 3DS, can't do voice chat. Each one of them doesn't have it. The messaging system is it's awkward. Like Nintendo didn't build these systems for online. They didn't build the 3DS for online. They definitely didn't build the 3DS for online play.
Right. Yeah. They need a new... Watch, it's going to be called the new 3DS Online or something. The new 3DS XL Online. Or just the O. Maybe they'll call it O. 3DS O. All right. So I saw a few comments here. Someone was asking about our opinions on Tokyo Mirage Session, #FE, or Sharp.
I'm giddy.
You're giddy on this one? Are you actually excited about this?
I am so stoked for that game.
Really?
Yes. I absolutely love. I mean, the aesthetics of the game, whatever, but just like the mechanics. Like I've read a lot. I actually have a friend that helped me play Xenoblade, right? Japanese, and he would help me, and he's been explaining to me exactly how the game works because it's really only in Japanese right now, and the mechanics look so fun. There's so much in depth in the game, and he's explained to me like some of the side quests and stuff. He said the side quests are kind of like main quests, and he's like they reward you greatly for doing them. So that's the one thing that I hate about RPGs. Like you do a side quest and it's like you get like 20 gil or something like that, or you get like a piece of armor that you can't use. Even Xenoblade has that. In this game, the side quests are very good. They're like main quests. You want to do them. You learn different skills and moves from doing them. So I'm really excited to play this game. Like, and the one thing that a lot of people didn't report on, but Dengeki Online actually gave it their game of the year for 2015.
Really?
Full game of the year. Yeah, Dengeki Online gave it their full game of the year, and they explained why they felt that it was so good. So yeah.
What are the mechanics? Like the direct didn't tell me much. As someone who is not familiar with the series or anything, I'm still as confused. I thought it was a rhythm game even, which some people corrected me on.
It uses a weapon triangle kind of, like the Fire Emblem franchises. But with magic and different things like that. And what you do really, you have your own character that you can attack with, but you also can summon these mirages, which are going to be Fire Emblem characters. And then they have special attacks. The more you fight with those mirages, the more they level up and get different things in addition to your own character. So you kind of build a bond with your mirage that you have, and you also level them up and just try to exploit weaknesses. So if you ever played the Persona game, it's also kind of like that too, where you try to exploit the weakness of your opponent, and you can go like 2 times in a row if you hit them with that weakness and stuff like that. So it's really similar to Weapon Triangle that you've played and Persona at times. But it's really its own unique game. That's why Nintendo called it a new IP. Okay. It's still kind of different.
I mean, I find the aesthetics very appealing. You're selling me on the mechanics. This sounds really fun. It really just comes down to. Do we have any insight on what kind of story we're looking at?
No, not from. Well, they basically said the story like there's something that invades Tokyo, and you kind of have to use set it up to save the world and something like that. But I don't really know much about the story, to be honest. But I'm just interested in just playing the game because Atlas makes amazing RPGs. They are one of the best as far as RPGs go. So I'm stoked to play it.
For sure. That sounds
But
interesting.
it's coming in June. Nintendo, Nintendo, give us a June game, right?
I was actually very surprised with how many near releases came out with last week's direct. They're just like, bam, you want this next month, the month after. Like they're in the next 3 months, we're actually seeing a decent amount of games. I don't know if you felt that as well.
Sean, you need to say something. They're saying that you need to say something. So
I don't like the game looks weird.
Sean doesn't like anything too Japanesey.
I mean, I can get down with some of it, but I mean, it looks interesting, but not my cup of tea.
I would love to take you or pay someone to take you to Japan for like a week and just like drench you in that culture and just go like hardcore and everything.
No.
You do it. You'll come back watching anime, watching Naruto.
I can't do that.
Watching Naruto sub. Not done.
And on the podcast, he'd be like, "Believe it, man, believe it."
I don't know what that means.
I know.
You never watched Naruto, Sean?
I don't watch any anime.
Do you know what a Kamehameha is?
Can we fire this? Seriously. I'm going to talk to you. I'm going to talk to
Video
your
games.
boss.
That's all I do. Like,
All right, Sean, you're out.
That's it.
Francis, you're in. Welcome to Nintendo Enthusiast. Some people are saying the game is way too weeboo, which
Yeah.
I could see that from what we've seen. It's definitely very.
It might have been way too weeaboo for Japan. Nobody bought it.
that's another thing. Like, I think it's gonna sell terribly.
Oh, yeah. They didn't dub the game. It's not even dubbed. I mean, it's...
Which I actually prefer. I was like,
I
thank
prefer
you.
too, but it's not dubbed. So that tells you right there.
Okay.
They already know. They already know it's
Here's bringing a sore spot. They're bringing this game over, but they didn't bother to bring a physical copy of Fatal Frame.
Uh-oh. Nintendo rant time.
Seriously though, that's so stupid. Like, just do it. Just why not?
Yeah, no, it doesn't make sense.
Nintendo of America. Reggie trying to save every dollar.
Then why bring this over when it's gonna sell 5 copies?
Because they've been hyping this game up for 3 years. They showed this game off back in 2013. They better bring over this game. This was one of their games. Like, hey, look, buy Wii U. We have games. Look.
I love how they're like, here are some Wii U games. And we're like, but we want that Fatal Frame back there. And like, no, you don't want that. But we do. Just give it to us. And then they give it to us, and they're like, here you go, digital only, and it doesn't fit on most of your hard drives. Have fun with that.
Yeah, that's just weird. That's just really weird.
Fucking gigs. God almighty.
I mean, and I think this just kind of plays into the part of the Wii U in general, like the issue that the system has, you know. The fact that it didn't come with a hard drive. I mean, I know you can buy your own, but a lot of people are lazy. A lot of people don't do that stuff. They don't want to go buy their own hard drive.
I still have the standard hard drive.
See, look at that, Sean.
And he has Fatal Frame somehow.
This man is cleaning out the refrigerator. Remember that on the Wii?
Yeah.
This man
what I do is I delete games, but I keep the save file so that when I never re-download them, I could play them again. Because in my mind, I'm like, yeah, I'll play this again one day. I'll re-download it now. It never happens.
No, it's not just so much lazy. It's lazy. You gotta go to the store and get a whole new thing. B, some people think it requires research. Like, what hard drive is compatible with my Wii U? Are they all? Like, it still requires some research.
It does require some research if you want to get a good one. What Nintendo recommends. So
yeah,
that's true.
And then, there's the price point too. It's like, well, I could buy this hard drive, or I could buy this new game. Like, a new hard drive is the price of a new game, if not 2 games. So, like, come on, what gamer's gonna? It's hard if you tell a gamer, here's a game, here's some device that will let you hold more games. Like, I'm gonna go with the game.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, and most of the good ones that Nintendo recommends are $100. So
damn, yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's for a lot of $100 American.
That's like 100,000 here. Shit.
That's a lot of money. I mean, I understand, like, you know, you need to work, being a gamer isn't, but still, I mean, there's sometimes people got priorities and stuff, and they buy a Wii U. The system was already $350, you know, when it launched, and then you're telling people, oh, well, go out and buy a $100 hard drive. You know, that's tough. I think Nintendo should have ate some of that cost, you know.
Oh, for sure, yeah. All right. And then finally, I feel that we need to get your opinion, Francis, in general on the overall direct of last week. Sean and I dissected it last Thursday on a special Classers Craft. But overall, what did you feel like? On the main topics of the whole delivery, the presentation, what we got.
It was solid. I'm not even going to sit here and hate on it. It was solid. It was cool that they brought out Tanabe to talk about this game. Federation. It was
a game
cool
that will not be mentioned.
Federation Force. So it was cool that they brought him out. I think they did a good job of it was a good pace direct.
Mm-hmm.
There were a few surprises here and there, mainly on 3DS. Mm-hmm. It kind of tells me that they're phasing Wii U out. That's the one thing that I took away from this direct. Wii U's getting kind of phased out a little bit because all they had was one new game that we already knew about, Paper Mario.
How'd you feel about that?
I did not like what I saw.
Okay, you're on that side.
It's okay, but I was hoping they would go with 1,000-Year Door-ish. But based on what I'm seeing and based on some of the analysis that I've seen, it looks like it's more of Sticker Star-ish. And I talked about the gimmick of putting your finger on the gamepad. I don't like games where you have to hold it with one hand, the gamepad, just because it's such a
it's clunky.
It's device. You have to really balance yourself with it, unless you put it on your lap.
Hashtag Wii U too long.
But the fact that you have to press on the touchscreen, then flick the card up. That's really gimmicky.
Yeah.
It's just really gimmicky. There's no need for that. But whatever. It's a new Paper Mario game, and it looks pretty vibrant and cool. It does. The graphics do look good. So. But overall, I think the direct was solid. I think it was a solid direct. So,
what about Kirby?
That looks kind of fun, doesn't it?
It looks amazing.
It looks best. It looks actually pretty freaking good. Looks better than
Fuck Pocket Jockey. That was so stupid.
Oh, Pocket Jockey looks stupid.
Why was that there?
Because they want to make sure they're on good terms with Game Freak. I don't know.
Put Pokemon Sun and Moon in place of Pocket Jockey in your direct. Don't make a little 5-minute direct for that.
Like I said, they're trying to get on good terms because they partly own Game Freak, but then again, Game Freak kind of just does what they want at times.
Yeah.
They'll release games on iPhone if they want to. Right. Well before Nintendo got into the whole that market. So.
Right.
So yeah, I don't know why they had that there. But overall, I think it was solid. For all the fans that have the Wii U and have the 3DS, I think everybody kind of knows what's going on with it,
Yeah.
And they're really front loading the first half of the year. Did you guys notice that? The first half of the year is the most.
You've kind of got this fat ass NX coming probably at the end of the year. I have to say probably because there's no confirmation, but come on.
Within the span of June, you have April. First of all, why are they releasing 2 games in 1 month?
Which ones?
In the first half, Pokkén and Legend of Zelda in the first half of the year. I know they do that in the second half of the year, but they never really do that in the first half. Release
Good
major games in the first half. Then you have Star Fox, and then you have they never really released in America.
Remember, Star Fox was supposed to be the holiday big boy, and he didn't show up. Where were you, Fox? Or it's about time you showed up, Fox.
It's about time you showed up, Fox. And then you have the Shin Megami Tensei or Tokyo Mirage Sessions in June.
Project Guard.
Yeah, Project Guard. Nintendo never releases games, at least in America. They never release games in June. That's never a month that they'll do stuff really at the end of May, but they'll never do stuff for June.
So you think that they're trying to get all their cards out before E3 because something big's coming?
Yeah, that's what I think. Why else would you release 2 games in 1 month?
That's good observation.
In the first half. In the first half of the year. They do that in the second half. I know they've done that before.
Yeah.
But in the first half, they never do that. It's always really skip. It's you'll get a Donkey Kong and then
or Kirby Rainbow Curse.
Yeah, Kirby Rainbow Curse, and then you have to wait all the way till May to get another game.
Yeah, so. May is usually a big release. That's when you get your Mario Karts, your Splatoons. You get the big one for the summer.
Yeah. I think the Pikmin was it was May-ish / I think June. Or was it July? Whatever.
It was a July release, I think.
Yeah, but so that was 2013.
That was a struggling year. That's where everything fell apart. It's we need a game.
The struggle was real back then. But yeah. But it's interesting. We'll see what happens. Huh?
It's an exciting time to be a Nintendo fan.
Oh yes, definitely.
All right. We're running a little bit late, so let's get into the Nintendo highlights. So this week, Sean picked the fan. So Sean, I'm going to put up the artwork. You can do your spiel.
He said he was watching. I don't know if he's still in here though.
Well, if he is watching, there's his beautiful face right there.
Is it with him and Metal Jesus?
Yep, there's two guys. I assume that.
Okay, Metal Jesus is on the left, and everyone knows Metal Jesus. Casey the Game Nerd is on the right. I'll put a link to his YouTube channel in there right now. Casey is unique in that he owns the entire Wii library, over 1,260 games, I believe it is. And yeah, I think he's the first person to complete it. He was on Metal Jesus's channel, and then he also has a personal channel. He has a lot of cool and unique items, such as he has a Wii U kiosk. I don't know how the fuck he got that, because there's still Wii U kiosks being used, so he got one of those. If you look at his channel, you can see all his cool stuff. He's a big collector, lives kind of in that Seattle region where there's a bunch of just huge collectors. So yeah, it's pretty impressive. He was featured on a lot of different websites, and he's a super cool dude too, so that always makes it good. So yeah, make sure you check out his YouTube stuff. He does good stuff.
And that's Casey Gamer. You linked it. Yeah, it's in the chat.
Yep, Casey the Game Nerd.
Nice. That's impressive. I remember when the Wii first came out, and there was like, I don't know, a dozen games. I was like, I think I'm gonna try to get all the Wii games, and then they just released a bunch. And
that's like trying to get a complete PS2 collection. It's
goodness.
Damn. Is that
I think the PS2. I think there's over 1,600 games.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Sometimes I look over at my Wii U collection. I was like, maybe I should try to get them all. and then I realized,
you know what? It's easier to get Wii U games, all the Wii U games, than any other system. I can tell you that.
Yeah, I mean, the only real tough ones to find in the wild are like Guyana Sisters, Funky Barn.
Lego City's a little bit harder to find too.
Yeah, I think actually Grimsy 42 has a complete up till now Wii U collection, because he's another psychopath collector. Jesus Christ, I've never seen so much stuff. His game room is like a wall, and then on top of the shelves in the wall, there's more shelves. Like he's like 6 layers, and it just goes all the way around. It's insane.
Nice.
Yeah, I just don't got the space for any kind of collection like that.
I mean, I have the space now, but because I got a new house, but I don't have the drive. Nor do I want to spend that money.
Is in here.
Yeah, nor do I want to spend that amount of money. These dudes spend a lot of money, like Pat the NES Punk and stuff like that.
It's a lot.
Who? We don't say that name on this show.
Oh, my bad. Oh, I forgot. Oh, my bad. Okay, I forgot. My bad. Sorry about that.
No, you're good, dude.
Leave it to Sean to make enemies with the big boys in the community. I quote, big boys.
Hey, I got a lot of big boy friends too, so it balances out.
Sean, your beard scares away anybody. I don't know why anybody would mess with you.
I don't know, yeah, dude. He was, yeah.
Sean's a big softie. That's
no.
Behind the beard is a soft, tender heart. Purrs like a kitten. You give him a little retro game, a little Super Nintendo game, or
yeah, definitely.
Oh, are we running a little overtime there, Francis?
Yeah, my daughter's coming in here.
It's all right. Okay, so we're at the last part of the podcast. This is where we take your questions, the lightning round. Feel free to ask any question you like. Toss up some topics. We're going to bounce it between Francis, Sean, and myself, assuming Francis comes back. I think he will. All right, so what do we got first? Sean, you like this part. You do the thing.
We haven't got any questions that I'm going to answer yet.
Really?
There's 2 questions, but I'm not answering either of them.
So we had the question, are you guys going to be at E3?
Oh, I didn't see that one.
See, you're not doing your homework. So I don't plan on it. Sean doesn't go because he doesn't fly. And Francis is probably going because it's $60 for him.
Yeah. How much you think?
You're on mute. You're on mute, Francis. Love that face.
I'm good.
All right.
I think that the NX will be about 300, depending on what it is.
$299. $299. I think they're gonna try to sell it like with their handheld. I think there's gonna be 2. So.
At a packet game, probably.
Yeah, packing. I think it's going to be like $199 for the handheld, $299 for the console.
I think you
Yeah.
need. I think you need the pack-in, unless it's backwards compatible,
No,
which
it'll
it
have a pack-in.
has to.
All Nintendos don't all no not handheld ones. Did the 3DS have a pack-in? I don't think it
Mm,
did.
No. Well, the Face Raiders.
No, yeah,
uh,
yeah.
that's actually fun.
I used to take pictures of Cameron, the rapper, and he would be in my face raiders. I don't know why. It was just so entertaining to me.
I did it with Iron Man, so
What do you think about the SNES only being compatible for the new 3DS? I think that I think it's sort of a ploy. I think they want to get rid of the current 3DS and move people to the new 3DS because I feel like the new 3DS will somehow integrate with the NX, whereas the current one won't. So they're trying to give incentive to have people upgrade. That's just my personal opinion.
You think there's any technical reasons why?
no.
I can't imagine because you could technically, I mean, people run homebrew on standard 3DS and play SNES games.
The standard 3DS plays freaking N64 games. I don't think it's that hard to emulate at a Super Nintendo game.
Okay. I don't know.
I mean, they could claim that, but I don't think that's a legitimate
I think it's a marketing
reason.
ploy.
Yeah. We did talk about Paper Mario briefly. Give it a chance. We only saw a minute 30 of it. The card aspect on the gamepad looks kind of stupid, but you know.
Sean, we brought it up real quick, but can you guide people on what is the issue with Pat and maybe just direct them to your channel so if they want the full story, they can go there?
Basically, Pat tried to call me out on something and I rebutted, and he attacked a personal friend of mine, and I don't appreciate that, and he responded like a coward, and I don't respect cowards. I don't like cowards. So that's pretty much it. I've moved on from Pat. He's in my rear view mirror. Best of luck to him and his bullshit, whatever he does. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
All right. So if you want more information, you can always hit up Sean on social media or go to his personal channel for that.
Yeah, I would like to know because I mean
Yeah,
I watch Pat all the time and I watch you guys. So.
He has a god complex, basically, and if you disagree with it, we're going to talk about it now because fuck.
Come on, no, not on the Nintendo Enthusiast podcast. Come on, you guys can do this after.
Yeah, we can do it later.
Yeah, do a podcast on your own personal channel. Anyone could go.
Yeah, you know,
because
I'm no stranger to beef with big YouTubers. You know,
I mean, just if you disagree with him, he gets very agitated, and unfortunately, that's kind of what has been seen now. So a lot of people are kind of upset with him. That's all it really is to it. Okay. Jason, do you trust hobos?
Me?
The question.
What's it have to do with anything? They scare me a little, but I lived in the big city for a while, so some do, some don't. Some look very friendly. I don't know. More relevant question though: do you guys think the NX is screwed if its power can't compete?
I think, well, I mean, of course, but yeah. I think the power will compete. I mean, there's no point. I mean, there's no point in making, a GameCube to Wii jump here. Like, there's no point. Obviously, nobody wants that. Nobody cares about that. No consumers would want that. So it has to have power. And I mean, plus you've been hearing all these, EA supposedly coming back. Now there's a Destiny 2 rumor floating around out there. So obviously it's going to have some meat under the hood. And, it's not necessarily, a lot of people, there's been the Xbox One connection, which seems to keep popping up and people keep shitting all over it. But, when I said it first, I was, Satan. But when other people say it, it's okay. But, that it's not the power, it's what you do with the power, and people seem to forget that because look at what Nintendo has managed to do with the Wii U, which is essentially a PS3 slightly upgraded. So I mean, it's all about what you do with the power. The Wii U is obviously a test. I have a conspiracy that the Wii U is actually a test for the NX. And maybe the NX is what the Wii U was supposed to be, but because of the sharp decline in the Wii, it got rushed.
You know, that could be a good theory that you're on. I personally think Nintendo just they weren't sure going into this generation. Some of the ways that I've heard about how the Wii U was constructed, about how they constructed each app individually, nothing was made in cohesion, you know? So that's why you have a Miiverse that's separated from your own dashboard, and you can't access, like, your friends list is almost useless on your dashboard. It's nearly useless. You can't send a message. You can't really do anything from it other than some games that require you to, you can join a game with a friend like Smash Bros. But there's a lot of disjointedness between the dashboard and Miiverse. There's a lot of just weirdness. And I think that was part of it. And like, even like the apps on the Wii U, a lot of stuff you can't use during like a game, like you can't do voice chat and like peer-to-peer, like Xbox and stuff like that. So I just think that the way that the system was built was just, could be rushed, like Sean was saying, at times. And I think that you're right. I definitely think that they realized very quickly that they made a mistake. And they better realize, and I'm pretty sure that they're going to realize that they can't have another Wii U situation on their hands as far as sales go. Like that would be disastrous. So I'm pretty sure that they're going to fix a lot of the issues that the Wii U had. Mainly though, I think the one thing that from what I've talked about with developers, it's really architecture that's the biggest problem with the Wii U. That's from what it's architecture. It's the way that you program. A lot of developers aren't willing to make another version or heavily modified version of their PC, PS4, and Xbox One games on Wii U. It takes a little bit too much time because you can't rush a port. I mean, you can port a game from PS4 to Wii U. You can do it, but if you rush it, it's going to turn out like crap. If it's not, it's going to turn out very bad. So a lot of developers weren't really willing to spend the time and money to do so. So as long as they have a architecture that's good and similar, I think that things should be a little bit better.
Agreed. Next question. We have Universal and Nintendo spending $400 million on that park in Japan. Thoughts?
Awesome.
Yeah, that seems cool to me.
I would definitely be interested in making a trip to Japan one day to try a park. Or it's coming to the U.S. too, isn't it? With Universal Studios?
Yeah, it'll be in the U.S. I mean, it's something that's an investment, but the returns on it will be, tenfold. So it's a safe investment.
They can sell their systems and stuff there too. So
much that they can do. I can't wait to see the rides. Maybe we'll do a podcast where we talk about what rides we would like to see. That'd be fun.
We need to have a Metroid Prime Federation Force ride. You just put on a helmet as a really big head. Just roll through. Look at Sam. Can't interact with it. Just look at her.
And then you got to fight for the missiles too, if you want them.
You got
to fight with the other tourists. All right. Next question. How did Nintendo Enthusiast get started? Are you two the founding members? No, we're not. But interesting history, really quick history lesson here. Nintendo Enthusiast was actually a community found on the IGN forums. For whatever reason, I wasn't around at that time. They moved over to Nintendo Enthusiast to make their own blog. It was growing there for about a year or two. Sean came on board a bit earlier as a writer. I came in as pretty much a video host where I kicked off the YouTube channel at the same time that Sean wanted to make his own. He wanted to take over the Nintendo Enthusiast YouTube channel, so we were kind of rivals at the beginning, which was very funny. And now
I hated him.
I hated Sean. Sean's first word to me was "die." He just wanted me to die because I kicked off with Indie Corner, which was way better quality than Sean's shitty week in review. His first one, it evolved a lot over time. Like literally his first.
I've never made a video before. I was like, I'm loud. I'll try to make videos.
His first episode was just the track of Super Mario Land, like the moon level for 20 seconds on a like ugly JPEG made in Paint.
Hey.
And it just played it. And it was like, he was like, hey. So,
that channel only had 400 subs, and I got 500 views on that video.
You know what? Hey, look, everybody's first videos are rough. I mean, not everybody can be like you, Jason. If you go on my channel and if you go on my first Player Essence channel and check out my first videos, oh my goodness.
You know what, though? Even though I had the nice sparkly lights and everything, I had no personality. If you look at the first Indie Corner, you could put a piece of cardboard there and narrate over it. It would be the same thing.
I remember like when I would do my videos, I would do my news videos. I'd be looking like up and to the left and like around.
Dude, I was reading from my computer because I didn't know like what I was doing. I will take it because that was literally my first episode was my first video I've ever made.
You learn a lot though. Like you learn a lot and like you get better and better as you go on. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure. Or some of us get worse and we just make a podcast with this shitty guy here, Sean, on a weekly basis.
I thought you were talking about another guy who stopped making videos and just does podcasts now.
Well, he stopped. He stopped doing that. Or you suggest? I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm talking about my buddy, Patrick.
Oh. I didn't know that. I didn't even know he did that. All right, next question. Which Nintendo franchise do you think it would? Which Nintendo franchise?
Boxer. I read that question. Tellero Boxer. I would love to see Tellero Boxer come back.
All right.
As an eShop game.
I would like Golden Sun. We haven't made a Golden Sun in a while.
Yeah, that is weird.
The hobo question got answered. All right. Sorry, guys. Just going through the chat real quick. When do you think got Nintendo... into it with Review Tech USA? I didn't know that.
Yeah, I did.
Which Nintendo franchise do you think it would have taken a good advantage of? Did this come up already?
Yes, he asked it twice because we snubbed him.
Okay.
When do you think Nintendo will release more info on the NX? May.
May. I would say May. April-ish. Or not April, May.
What do you think? Do you think we'll ever see another F-Zero? Yeah.
Yes.
Maybe.
Yes, they gotta.
I would like to.
Gotta release another F-Zero.
I mean, they do, but Nintendo gets weird sometimes. What happened to Advance Wars? There's a great question.
Yeah, Advance Wars would be so cool on the Wii U.
Or even if they did a Battalion Wars. I remember doing an article on that where they could basically make Battalion Wars their battle field. I mean, because Battalion Wars on the Wii was fun as shit. Even though it was just one-on-one online multiplayer, controlling all those troops, and then you could jump in at any point in time, and like you controlled them as a unit, but you could get in to whatever unit there was. So if you want to be an infantryman, you could be an infantryman, run around, shoot people. Then you could jump to a tank and you could just blow people away with a tank. Like, it was so genius, and it makes so much sense to do with the fucking gamepad. You just tap the person you want to be on the gamepad. You have the map on the bottom. You have little icons representing each unit. You tap the unit, boom, you're that unit. Now you're killing those people, boom, you switch to another unit. You can see everything going on, the different bases that you have to capture. It's brilliant. What the fuck?
This is your section, Sean, so if it's quiet, you fill up the silence.
Okay.
I'm zoning out.
Let's get Pokkén Rocky 3 now.
I got about 10 minutes, though, guys, because I'm getting pressured right now.
Okay. You want us to cut it out right now and give you that 10 minutes to do
yeah, I can leave. I mean, you guys can still go on if you want. But...
No. We're at the end anyway. Oh, we're way over time anyway.
Yeah, we're way over time.
This is such a fun time, though, Francis. We got to have you back. This is a fun night.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I'd be glad to come back anytime. So
awesome. All right, so before we wrap it up, what do we usually do? All right, OJ, Francis, whatever. Where can people find you if they want more of you?
Yes, you can find me on my Player Essence YouTube channel. I think if you just look up,
put in the link in the chat.
Yeah, it's there. Player Essence. You'll see it on there. It's just Player Essence, capital P, capital E, on there. You'll see my videos. I have a new logo. It's like gray with orange PE on there. I do a lot of different stuff, so you can check that out there. If you guys can leave a link in the chat, that'd be great. I have a website, playeressence.com. From there, you can just find my YouTube up at the top. Got a new redesign. I think it looks really cool compared to what I had before.
Oh yeah, I didn't see that yet.
So yeah, the redesign is cool. So we just did that. Well, I did that like late last year, but that's cool. A lot of the users are liking that. And yeah, just if you can subscribe to my channel, that'd be great. And follow us on social media. I have Player Essence on Twitter. I have Facebook Player Essence group. We're almost at 1,000 likes on my Facebook page, so that'd be cool. Some of you guys can go over there.
Nice. You even got the podcast up.
Yeah. yeah, cool drawing of me. I was like, oh, that looks cool. And yeah. So I mean, that's where you guys can find me. I really do appreciate all the fans out there. You guys giving me support. I've been getting some subscribers, and I really do appreciate you guys having me on. I really do. Like it's an honor.
Yeah, it was great. I don't know if you mentioned it here at the end for anyone who joined us at the end, but Francis is a one-man team. He runs Player Essence's YouTube channel. He does everything, all this reporting, all by himself. So mad respect to Francis for that.
Yep.
So do check out his stuff, playeressence.com, everything he said. Sean, what about you?
I put everything in the chat: Twitter, Facebook,
Thanks,
YouTube.
Oh, you already.
Yeah, I already did it. Yeah, my Proco Polaris or whatever review will be up probably tomorrow. I don't really have any other reviews planned. I need to reach out to some indie companies and see what games I may have missed. I think Eric actually has a code or two. And then, I think we might be doing a skit this week on Nintendo Enthusiast. We need to go ahead and script that at some point this week. Probably not tonight, but maybe tomorrow or something. Yep. And then, of course, Nintendo in 90. And then you can always find me on Retro Gaming Tube 85. We just passed 4,500 subscribers. Doing a giveaway. You can get a $50 gift card to a really dope online video game store that I do a lot of business with. They have insanely cheap prices, especially for retro games. And he's a really cool dude too. So check out that channel if you want. I got some videos and crap on there, and that's about it.
Sounds good. On my end, like Sean said, we're gonna have a skit on Nintendo Enthusiast. I'll be making a cameo on Re-Res, a positive episode this Tuesday. So if you are sub to Re-Res, you're gonna be seeing my face there. What else we got this week? I don't think we've got any special projects. I'm still working on a big one. That's going to take some time to produce, but I think you guys are going to love it when it comes out. Any other big games? No reviews are coming out this week, right?
Not for any big games aside from my Poco Porous review, because is it the 18th for Pokkén or something like that?
Yeah.
Assault Android Cactus. That's coming to Wii U.
Is that this week?
Yeah, it's coming this week.
Awesome.
I got a review code for it. So
what? I need to hit up.
Hit him up. Get it done.
Yeah, that looks really promising. But the following week we're gonna have some good reviews coming out. We got Pokkén Tournament soon after, Legend of Zelda. What am I talking about? Hyrule Warriors Legends. It's coming out. Thanks again, guys, for joining us. It was a pleasure. It's more than a pleasure. That's a bullshit thing. It was a great time talking with you guys tonight. Having the Nintendo community here, always a great time. We'll see you guys next Sunday, 8 p.m. Same bat channel, same Nintendo channel, same people, whatever.
You're an idiot.
I am an idiot. I'm losing this outro. I'm just doing a terrible job. So I'll see you guys next week. Until then, keep it classy, or as Sean would say,
keep it crassy.
Have a good night, everyone.
Later.
Deuces.